Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Joe Biden has vowed to unite a deeply divided America and lead the country to overcome what he calls this season of darkness as he accepted the US Democratic presidential nomination.
Give people light.
The former US vice president said his rival Donald Trump had unleashed too much anger, fear and division on the country. The 77-year-old heads into the campaign with a clear and steady lead in opinion polls over the incumbent president, who will accept the Republican nomination for a second White House term at his convention next week.
It's time for we the people to come together. And make no mistake, united we can and will overcome this season of darkness in America. We'll choose hope over fear, facts over fiction, fairness over privilege.
Russian doctors treating Alexei Navalny, who fell into a coma after being taken ill on a plane, have changed their minds and agreed to let him be flown to Germany. The doctors in the Siberian city of Omsk had earlier insisted he was too ill to be moved. His supporters suspect he was poisoned and accuse the authorities of trying to cover up a crime. A medically equipped plane is waiting to take him to Germany for treatment. Belarusian opposition leader Svetlana Tikhanovskaya has urged supporters to step up protests despite the intimidation from the authorities as prosecutors question her allies. In a new video address from exile in Lithuania, she said the August the 9th election was rigged by President Alexander Lukashenko and must be rerun fairly. Allies of Ms. Tikhanovskaya on the new Opposition Coordination Council have been summoned to the Belarusian Investigative Committee, accused of an illegal power grab. Michel Barnier, the EU chief negotiator for Brexit, has said that a post-Brexit trade deal between the UK and the EU seems unlikely. Speaking after the latest round of talks, Mr. Barnier said he was disappointed and concerned. His UK counterpart, David Frost, spoke of little progress amid differences on fisheries policy and state aid rules. The EU said it would like to agree on a deal by October so it can be approved by the European Parliament before the post-Brexit transition period expires on December the 31st this year. Former Donald Trump campaign manager Steve Bannon has pleaded not guilty hours after being arrested on fraud charges relating to the controversial border wall with Mexico. Federal prosecutors in New York allege Mr. Bannon received over $1 million from the online campaign to build the border wall with Mexico, at least some of which he used to cover hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal expenses. He has now been released on a $5 million bond, backed by almost $2 million in cash or real estate. Mauritius has announced it has started the process of sinking the Japanese-owned bulk carrier that ran aground, spilling huge amounts of oil 2 weeks ago. The government said the ship's sinking will be done in a way that would avoid further pollution or interfere with maritime routes. However, scientists say the full extent of the spill is still unfolding and the damage could affect Mauritius and its vital tourism sector for decades. 2 of the ship's officers were arrested earlier this week on charges of endangering safe navigation. A Panama-flagged tanker, which is believed to have been hijacked, has been pictured in the Gulf of Aden off Somalia. 6 armed men seized the Aegean II late on Wednesday after it had engine problems. Earlier, Somali pirates had released 3 Iranian hostages held for 5 years. The 3 Iranians are the last of the crew of the Iranian fishing vessel FV Siraj, which was captured by pirates in March 2015. Kim Yo-jong, the influential younger sister of the North Korean ruler Kim Jong-un, has become his second in command. That's according to a South Korean intelligence agency. It's reported Kim Jong-un has ceded a degree of authority to his younger sister, who has risen through the ruling party ranks since accompanying her brother to his 2019 nuclear summit with Donald Trump in Vietnam. Experts speculate the move may be intended to reduce the strain on the leader, who was recently rumoured to have health issues. And finally, in Chile, a cougar made a surprise appearance in the metropolitan area of the capital, Santiago, after being spotted inside the patio of a home. The big cat, which is thought to have come down from nearby mountains overlooking the area, was described by witnesses as being disorientated and scared. Chile's Agricultural and Livestock Service used a tranquilizing dart to sedate the feline before taking it to the Metropolitan Zoo for a checkup and then releasing it back into the wild. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel studios in Lagos.